everyone. I'd love to talk a bit about the intelligence part of that picture and of how we leverage the Leonardo technologies and the wider cloud platform capabilities to bring intelligence into the customer and partner stack. And this isn't quite my slide yet. Here we go. So I want to talk today a bit about the areas that Gunther didn't go quite as deeply into. Data-driven insights. How can we leverage data to create new value for customers? How can we take operational data and turn that into value-added investment insight, for example? As well as the space around ability to extend applications with intelligence and inject new scenarios by using technology like robotic process automation to bring capabilities that are surfaced on the cloud platform very close into the heart of the business. Let's begin with the data-driven insights, and I promise you we're going to keep the Python code as well as the technical identifiers, the uniform resource identifiers and more to an absolute minimum. We have to have them in every presentation because this is TechEd after all. Injecting intelligence into applications is, of course, all about SAP Data Intelligence. Those of you here last year heard our board member for development talk about an upcoming product called SAP Data Intelligence at that point in time. Well, we have delivered. It's been in beta since beginning of third quarter, and we're now generally available. SAP Data Intelligence is about enterprise artificial intelligence, the ability to do AI and machine learning, combining with advanced data management capabilities, because we've learned that every AI endeavor is only as good as the underlying data, and it really takes the junction of both of these to make a successful initiative. So SAP Data Intelligence truly covers the entire value chain. It starts with how to access your data. It might be sitting in a HANA system, it might be sitting in an S4 system atop HANA, on a data lake powered by a hyperscaler, on a roll your own Hadoop installation at your premises, or maybe in a managed Hadoop installation somewhere. Accessing and connecting to all these data securely is the first major challenge in many data science projects. How to govern and how to discover these data is another one. Can I see what's in there? Can I access it? Can I summarize it? Can I understand what it's about? And can I maintain control about where the data is coming from, where it's going to, and what it's used for? The data lineage, in other words. Are we able to prepare that data? Can we engineer features? Can we deal with missing values? Can we deal with zero values? Do we have a way to turn the raw material, the raw oil, into something more refined that learning can actually work on? We learned that this is a critically important step in building many of the 200 cases of intelligence in SAP Suite that Jürgen talked about in his keynote in the morning. And guess what? Trying to learn from 250 feature columns is harder than trying to learn from the 8 or 10 relevant ones. So the data model simplification of HANA has helped us a lot with this. In dealing with other data sources, preparation and labeling is also critically important. Then it's about actually doing the learning and transforming the data into something useful. This is data pipelining. This is the ability to leverage the best of open source together with all the technology that SAP has to offer. Every data science team has their own preferences. They might prefer working in Python. They might prefer working in R. They might be wedded to TensorFlow. They might also be experimenting in Scikit, or they might look for delegated execution inside the HANA database so that we never ever move that data in the first place. With data pipelining and with the flexibility of being best of open source plus everything that SAP has to offer, we have that stuff covered. Just as we have deploying and integrating into applications and then monitoring what's going on and really orchestrating the overall life cycles of data and of model assets. Let's have a look at what customers are already doing with SAP Data Intelligence. I'd like to welcome on stage Hanno Schoklitsch, CEO and founder of Kaiserwetter Energy Asset Management. Hanno, warm welcome.
Markus, thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Great to be here. I will give you an insight what we have done over the last couple of years together with SAP and what we just have done over the last couple of months together with SAP. in a really great partnership, developing new things based on SAP Data Intelligence. But give me at the beginning a few words which I would really like to use. We know everybody that we have really to force or to do things to fighting climate change. And when we started our business, and already in 2016, the first time when we have implemented Aristoteles as our IoT platform based on SAP Cloud Platform. In 2016, I presented it at the COP22 in Marrakesh the first time, really doing new things, how we can really put, or fighting against climate change. I think currently it's really a real topic. Each day we see what's going on, but I think it's really started as well talking about the solutions. And we are really convinced that we are part of the solution, together what we have developed with SAP over the last couple of years. I think what's really quite important is that we have really to see this fighting climate change really just will work if we bring together the technology, what we have implemented, but also to convince and catalyze capital. So, and our idea is by putting all our tech and innovation in place based on data analytics, that we are really convince capital to invest in renewable energies and catalyzing them on a worldwide basis to invest this. And as everybody know, capital, and I'm talking here about the equity and the debt side, I'm talking about investors, but also thinking financing banks, all of them have to fear what's going on with the investment. So how they can really reduce the investment risk, financing risk, how they can maximize returns, and I think it is appropriate that capitalist who is investing gets a decent return. And of course, creating transparency to all stakeholders. And this is exactly what we are achieving by aggregating data from wind farms, from solar parks, the technical data, but especially financial data. So we are correlating the technical with the financial ones. Integrating as well third-party data. That means what we are talking about, meteorological forecasts, but also integrating energy prices coming, for example, from Bloomberg. All this kind of stuff is integrated in SAP Cloud Platform and then brought to our clients by performing analytics. And we ourselves, we are then presenting to our customers, which are investors, which are financing banks, data analytics as a service. And this data analytics as a service, as I just mentioned, has been built on SAP Cloud Platform and by doing all stuff of predictive analytics. And what we have co-invented over the last couple of months was really how we can take the next path forward. And I think this is the next really important step, is how we can predict. How we can really predict the potential features on the technical side coming out of wind farms and solar parks. Currently, what we have done was really concentrating ourselves on wind turbines and seeing, okay, where we can technical features with all these consequences finally coming. And so really, as well, tell the investors and financing banks, look, don't be shy to invest because we have all your investments under control. And this is, at the end, I think, what the big message is. And thanks to SAP and all these capabilities coming more and more. And for us as a customer, of course, it's also really important to see where the roadmap of SAP is going. And as we heard today, and I've seen today, I think it's really great for us as well to develop our business model ahead. And therefore, I think what we currently have achieved by implementing machine learning and really make this happening. And I think this is really one of the great things that this machine learning approach, what we have implemented for wind turbines, is really one of the first ones, really predicting potential features coming out of machines. And I think this is one of the great things what we have implemented. Yeah, this we have done together with SAP and as well headed by our senior data scientist at Kaiserwetter, and he's also here. So I think the guys did a great job last couple of months. And yeah, and you for sure, Markus, now telling what we have done. Thanks.
Very happy to pass the baton. Thank you. Thank you, Hanno. So yeah, some of the pain points that David encountered in his work at Kaiserwetter was how to actually get all the data out. How do I refine the data across multiple systems and sources? How can I deploy models to automate data management at a larger scale? And how do I scale this over multiple landscapes and systems with the ability to also share data and work with that? And our team worked with David to make that a reality with SAP Data Intelligence. So let's have a look at how that works in practice. And roll the first video. We're entering SAP Data Intelligence to browse connections towards multiple data sources, and we're going directly for the turbine data sitting on a data lake in CSV format. With our fingerprinting ability, we're able to understand the nature of this data to get semantic insights into data types, values, value ranges, distribution of unique or missing values to help people understand the data. We would also be able to, in this spreadsheet-like environment, make corrections to the data that get turned into scripts that are applied to every incoming new data. Fortunately, for the Kaiserwetter data, this was not necessary, and we could directly jump into data exploration on a more visual level. Thanks to our strong open source implementation and the integration of Jupyter Notebooks, we're able to support the best of Python-based data science in this environment, whether it's plotting, whether it's correlation analysis, whether it's cross charts and more. Everything that's accessible in a notebook environment and Python environment is accessible inside SAP Data Intelligence with enterprise-grade manageability around it. And that's not all. Our pipelining engine, which is currently over 300 operators strong and growing, allows customers and partners to now string together processing change based on that data. And this is as easy as dragging operators from the palette on the left-hand side and visually connecting them together to achieve a given processing step. And with this, we're able to connect data sources, to train models, to run inference with models, to actually apply them to a business problem. And we're going to take that pipeline and now connect it both to the sources, including the processed data, as well as to our sinks with a native connectivity into SAP's analytical cloud for visualization, which you've seen on stage this morning. So what we're able to do with the source-to-sink approach is to understand the likelihood of turbine failures based on predicted gear oil temperatures versus actual gear oil temperatures. I learned from David that this is one of the critical determining values. Whenever your prediction is off the real value, something is wrong in the gearbox, and this is the part that's most likely to break. So we're able to put these prediction versus actual corridors not just in a system, but also in a map, surfacing the red dots in northern Germany here, which is the area that I am from and that I still have a very soft spot in my heart for. An energy-rich area by now, with a wind turbine almost every 5 kilometers, it feels, to surface the red dots that show us exactly which of these are operating out of spec and which ones require attention and repair. So to summarize, with data intelligence, we're able to connect to data sources like the ones that Kaiserwetter needed here, combining technical data with operational data with business data, and we have clear lineage and governance around the data in that process. So data management and data handling is something that your CIO and Chief Data Officer can always feel secure about. We support powerful pipelining and notebooks. The pipelining, think of that as the rapid development mode. The notebook, think of that as the expert mode, with strong capabilities across open source, SAP, and hyperscalers. And we're continuing to put out more and more pre-engineered features, data sets, and pipelines so that connecting to SAP applications like S/4HANA becomes even easier, faster, and with a more rapid start. But that's not all. We also are working to bring this kind of intelligence into business processes based on pre-configured services addressing mass challenges. Let's take the example of Susan. Susan is a finance developer at a food company, and Susan is working against a high and growing volume of business documents hitting the finance department. In this case, it's unstructured invoices coming in proprietary formats. And she's looking for ways to integrate and automate invoice processing with AI into her core business process. And there's a couple challenges around that for Susan. They come in PDFs, they come in JPEGs, they come in many different formats. You have to convert and deal with them. They come in archaic transport containers like email. Yes, I know they're not on Instagram yet. They're not on Facebook yet. It's called email. It's still around, and it still presents fiendish technical challenges. And they are highly heterogeneous. You cannot predict the format that you're going to get if a new vendor provides you with an invoice. You just can't predict that there's a new thing and your solution will have to adopt. And as always, we have to keep the business running and to keep the flow of payments up in a just-in-time world. So let's see how Susan can address these challenges. She's doing that with Leonardo AI Business Services. We've heard a lot about business services already today. The AI services help you automate and optimize your business with a little intelligence in a box that our data science teams have created and worked on based on the data of many customers and partners. We can explore these services on SAP's cloud platform and beginning to explore these by previewing the menu of services. For some reason, this is not playing now. Let me try again. Now it's starting to play. So on the Cloud Platform webpage, the intelligent capabilities are available just as any other service, and they are available as APIs with a certain accessing pattern, a certain pricing mode around it, and the ability to connect with resources and with teams behind it. One of these services is called document information extraction. It's for taking semantic information out of business documents like invoices and then making these available. This is the part where I promised you we were going to see a technical identifier in today's talk, and we will. We're going to take that invoice on the right-hand side and toss it into the document processing service. We're getting back a technical identifier for that particular job because your document might have 20 pages and take a while. And we can then see the status of this job by going to the second kind of API that's provided on SAP's cloud platform with an asynchronous processing pattern. And in here, we're already getting the extraction results. So something like the document number value that was shown on the right-hand side has become available as structured JSON on the left. What we're now able to do is to take SAP's robotic process automation solution to connect the flow of these data, the incoming document, the trigger to the business system, the extraction from a technical system, and the ability to make the business process run directly on an existing S4 or ECC system by reaching into that environment with robotic process automation. And here we are. We're able to trigger a shared services framework request to enter and process this information with all the required fields and data right out of the system with no humans involved. That's what progress looks like. We're replacing clicks with bots, and we're helping every finance and procurement department in the world to up their level of automation, their level of straight-through processing, and the ability to support the business better with value-added analysis instead of focusing on keeping the lights on. These services are tailored for a given business context. We're working hard with customers and partners to make them maximally relevant for business. They are absolutely developer ready. In this case, they're even RPA developer ready. You don't even need to know how to code in depth in order to use these. Just run them in our RPA and you're good. And they're made to integrate really well with SAP's landscape overall. Let me finish with a perspective on where the business services on SAP's cloud platform are headed. You've just seen document information extraction as one of our recent innovations. We're continuing to build out business services, particularly in the area of master data, and together with colleagues from S4 Finance and S4 Procurement, we're heading towards ever more comprehensive automation, particularly in finance and procurement. In the core intelligence space, SAP Data Intelligence was promised here last year. It's out, it's available. We promised to bring together conversational AI and Copilot in one powerhouse bot creation and bot runtime environment, and we delivered. We did. It's available. It's there. And we did the same with SAP Leonardo, IoT, and Edge. Looking forward, we're going to keep improving data intelligence, particularly with the release of AutoML capabilities this quarter. We're going to keep enhancing conversational AI to make bot building ever faster and ever more intelligent. And Elvira is here with us to talk about the roadmap and the further direction for everything inside Leonardo IoT. On the application services space, Gunter talked a lot already about what we do in the integration suite space, in the intelligent business process management space. Jürgen showed a great demonstration of this in today's keynote. We're going to focus on improving the developer productivity for these solutions, step after step after step. And we will be bringing together all the design cockpits for this in one environment in the cloud. Right now, the RPA Design Studio is still a hybrid between cloud and on-premise. This is going to become fully cloud-based so that developer productivity is actually set to skyrocket. This is where we're headed, with business services on SAP's cloud platform as part of the overall business technology platform. If you would like to learn more and engage, there's material on data intelligence, there's material on all services on the cloud platform available, and of course, we'll have ample time in the Q&A session just to come. With this, I'd like to thank you. I hope I've made up for some of the minutes and left ample time for Elvira to take us through SAP's Internet of Things activities and capabilities. Thank you.